we were doing some research on different certifications or programs that we wanted to be a part of. Especially when you're graduate from residential into the commercial space, these property owners or these property managers, they want to know who you are. And it's a little bit more of a challenge than just being the neighborhood roofer. And I don't know, I guess my neighbor used you, so I'll use you too. They really want to know, do you know what you're doing? Because the asset you're protecting, has a lot more under it, right? There's a lot more going on in that building potentially than a single family home, for instance. So we initially looked into the NRCIA as really a program that we could, kind of just add on to, other different certifications. But then we also looked at it from the perspective of a knowledge base as well. Could we learn from a program? And that was definitely there as well. And then, of course, being able to actually lead with the NRCIA as that third-party inspector to, get more sales directly. When you kind of combine those different things, it just made a lot of sense.
I made my inspection fees back. I made my association dues back within 2 inspections. I did 2 workmanship evaluations. Those are my first 2 jobs. And that's mainly what I get. So I have the forensic inspector designation, and that also broadens the horizon for leads and also my qualifications. So who's going to contact me over somebody else who doesn't have the title of forensic roof inspector with the National Association. So that's definitely a plus. So my ROI, I've already made my money back on everything.
Okay.
On my total investment. And I did that in what I'd say about 2-3 months tops.
Yeah.
And that's, actually really good considering a lot of companies will go into debt for the first 2 years before 2 to 5 years before they even turn a profit.
Yep. So
that's
great.
I paid myself back and I have my name out there, and, every day I try to improve on something. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Congratulations. That's great news to share.
Yeah.
NRCIA has a weekly meeting, which are very beneficial. We go through every aspect of the business, the roofing inspections, the insurance inspections, how to treat customers, how to prep yourself for the inspection, how to talk to the customers. I mean, they even though it's, they talk about their core values, even though that's something that we learned from the very beginning, they touch on that and remind you and keep you focused on what you need to do and how beneficial it is. So that's very informative, and it helps a lot in the long way, and it keeps you focused. And anytime you have a question or you have something that you don't understand, they're there to help you. They're there to guide you through it and help you out. What I do like about the NRCA is they're not going to do the job for you. They're going to prep you so you can run on your own and do your business yourself, which is very beneficial.
To put it in, in the least offensive way possible, the opportunities for training that are just, presented to people that are coming into the roofing industry are not very plentiful. Unfortunately, is really you're going to have to do it all yourself, or you are with the company that you can get as much experience as possible. But it really varies. I mean, there's no such thing as a roofer university. There are some different programs out there, that can be expensive as well, or it can take up, you have to travel to various places to do it. So there are some opportunities, but really where I was at, it didn't feel like I was progressing enough in my theoretical and practical knowledge to be considered an expert, and I very much was not. And so I started to look online for universities, roofing courses, where to get certifications, where to get information. I wanted to build up more credibility for myself, because I knew that I had just entered the sphere. So getting certified, being able to say that I had gone through education, being able to say that I had, taken the training courses and done a standard transition into an unknown and new industry, that was important for me in terms of credibility. So after some searches, I came across the NRCIA, and that is kind of, at the point where I felt like I wanted to, or I enjoyed the inspecting portion more than I wanted to go the line of, actually installing roofs. I never wanted to become an installer. Yeah, and so once I found the NRCIA, I read about it, and it's one of the only organizations in the country that is actually dedicated to inspecting. A lot of the organizations and associations out there are more focused on contracting. And so that inspecting, that profession, that job as an inspector kind of drew me towards the NRCIA, and then I went from there.
When you show up on the job, you're NRCIA certified, our badges and things like that. We prefer to wear them, with our company shirts also. The badges are on there. Our certification is there. I think it shows a sense of professionalism, and they know that we belong to this association, and it's a roofing association, inspection association. And so with that being said, I think the professionalism, and we just really are strong on being professional, and the way we talk to people, the way we present stuff to them. And I think it's just given us a step above our competitors with showing them, that we belong to the association. And not only that, belonging to the association, if you have any questions or the issues on the jobs, all you got to do is reach out. So the resource there for the NRCIA is amazing. You don't need to Google anything. You get real time, answers back for you. It's really good.